Welcome to the Lifeboat Live. We have 4 simple rules. Number 1, we don't discuss politics, ever. Number 2, this is not a religious channel, and while you might hear people say, God bless you, or I'm going to pray for you, or I wouldn't have gotten through this without my faith, that's fine. What's not fine is to say, my God is better than your God, or here's why you're not getting into heaven. It's not going to fly. Number 3, we believe wholeheartedly if you can't control your tongue, then you can't control your life. So while on board, there's not going to be any cursing in the live chat, period. And number 4, there is no room for mean people on the lifeboat. Because we discuss very sensitive things from people's past in our group setting, we got to protect those people. The only way they feel confident and comfortable discussing those things is in an environment that is free of trolls and mean people. So if you're a mean person or you're a troll, we're going to block you for life. And if your account happens to be less than 24 hours old, we're probably a little suspicious right from the word go. Why? Well, because there are people in this world who enjoy being cruel solely for the sake of being cruel. It's not going to fly here. But if you're here because you're trying to get sober and live your best life, then you might find that the lifeboat is just that, a lifeboat. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and we will see you on deck. Good evening, everybody. I am Captain Tommy Scoville. On the other side of the glass, as always, my partner, Captain Mark Wages, and you are on the lifeboat. All right, let me get this thing rolling. I want to make sure that I mute myself on the phone calls because I will get one. You guys have been busy as heck getting a hold of me. There we go. Here you go. So, welcome back. It is Monday here on the lifeboat, and that's always a good thing. I hope you guys enjoyed your last couple of days off. We did a little visiting on the boat. Pardon me. We've done a little bit of change up where we're doing some good morning stuff. We want to try to help everybody. I don't know, get out of bed with the right kind of mindset, because you know what, the mornings suck. They can be very difficult, and you know what, we don't want. We want everybody to get out of bed and sort of have that mindset going forward. The one that's going to make you happy, the one that's going to give you the best chance you got of success. I was reading something this morning from Samuel Clemens. Right, it was a fairly famous, wrote under the name Mark Twain, right? Has said a lot of really, really funny things over the course of the time that he wrote. One of them was, when you get up in the morning, you should, after your first cup of coffee, you should eat a live frog. The purpose of this being that from that point on, everything in the day was going to be up. You know what I'm saying? Your day is going to be pretty good if with your cup of coffee, you eat a live frog. And, you know, there's something to be said for how we attack our day. And sadly, people, I think that one of the realities of what we do here, you know, a lot of times I end up saying, you know, what we do for work, it's a labor of love. It most assuredly is not work, you know, what we do here. But, you know, one of the things that is, you know, kind of, I don't know, it's part of what we do, whether we want it to be or not, is that this isn't the most fun subject matter in the entire world, right? There's a lot of stuff that we talk about that is tough. You know, there are a lot of every other day. You know what? That's probably not even true. It's probably every day at this point. Somebody writes in and says that they lost someone that they care about, and it's tough. You know, it really is. So we need to concentrate on some of the things that make life better. One of which is laughter. right? There is science out the wazoo. That's a medical term. There is science out the wazoo that actually says that laughter, truthfully, is one of the best medicines. It's amazing what laughter can do for you, and we unfortunately, because of what we talk about, laughter gets lost in the exchange too often, and we end up being stuck on some serious stuff. My partner and I, just before we were going live today, we're talking, and you know what? There's just a lot of heavy stuff that goes on. You know, it's the nature of what it is that we do. So if we can try to concentrate on a couple of laughs, it's probably not such a bad thing. It really isn't. One of the We're going to do a little talk today about. I'm going to tell you a joke or two. Actually, jokes may not be the right way to put it, but I'm going to tell you a story or two that is funny because some of them, these are things that from my past that we probably would have ended up telling on the lifeboat a long time ago, but the lifeboat tends to be heavy, right? It tends to be a fairly heavy subject matter. I'm waiting. I was really kind of hoping to see Johnny Scoville pop up in the comment section because I'm going to be putting Johnny Scoville on blast in a pretty big way through a lot of this. So I was kind of hoping to see him. I have not yet, and oh, the hell I will give him for not being here. First of all, that's he really needs to tighten up his game. Bottom line, he really needs to tighten up his game. Tad, if you are here today, I would like to congratulate you. Tad is a new member here on the boat, 21 days sober. And I'll tell you something, people, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Big old shout out to my friend M Hunt out there fighting the good fight. And you know what? He sends me messages, and there are times, people, sometimes you guys send messages and you don't realize what they do for us. They come at a time where it's the right time, or it's the it just happens to come just when we need to hear it most. And Emma Hunt sent me a message this morning talking about how what, life just seems a whole lot different. He's talking about the positive feelings that that this is having on him, that this go around. And you know what, people, most of us don't get it right the first try. We don't. Took me a little over 30 years. So I understand the concept that it takes a minute. It really does. And that's part of what it is that we have to endure here. I used to have a drinking problem, 2 hands, but only 1 mouth. Well, that will be a problem. I promise you that can cause a problem. I'm going to tell you a story about Johnny Scoville, and he'll deny it at a later date, but I don't care. So he's not here. Let's talk about him. There was a period of time when I was in school where Johnny was doing work at a local like a grocery store, I guess is what you would call it. It's that's the closest thing that you would call it today is kind of a grocery store. And I used to go in and get money from him, right? They also made pizzas. They did some other stuff there, but I would go in and I would get money from him. And I would take the money and I would go out and I would buy weed with it. And then I would flip the weed and I would bring the money back and he would put it back in the till before the end of the business day. And we would use this as a way to, I would use this as a way to sort of keep my drug habit going. Right. And unfortunately, one night I decided that as opposed to buying some weed, I went with cocaine. And one of the things about Coke is that if you've ever done it, you do that first one and it's very difficult to not do the second one, right? We used to call it the s'mores, right? Because instantly you do the first one and then you go s'more, s'more. I want a little s'more, Can we do a little s'more? S'more, 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 s'more. And well, that happened. And at the end of the night, I didn't have the money. Well, I didn't have all the money. I think that I had taken about 300 and some change from Johnny, and I think I had about $103, $104. So I wasn't even in the ballpark. And he had to go and ATM machines and do all kinds of stuff to try to get this money back into the till, right? So that was the end. He said, from this point forward, we're not going to do this anymore. That was, I was no longer going to be allowed to come and grab funds from work, which was unfortunate because it had become a very it was a daily thing. It was a big part of how I was keeping my habit going back in the day. So I showed up one day after being cut off, and I said to him, "Hey, I got an opportunity to pick up something, and it's really, really cheap. And there's no way we can fail on this thing. It doesn't go up your nose. It's something that you have to smoke, and there's no chance in hell that I could smoke enough to do any damage. So all I need you to do is give me about $190. And believe it or not, people, there was a time on this planet when $190 could buy you a quarter pound of pot. So I needed $190. I already had a couple of zips lined up. I had somebody that was going to buy them. So I just needed the money, and this was going to be wham, bam, right? Instantly back in. And Johnny said to me, it's not going to happen. I said, Johnny, come on, man. He said, no, it's not going to happen. We've talked about this, and it's not something that we're going to do because you're going to screw up and I'm going to end up getting fired and I'm not going to be able to blah, 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 blah. Right. You know the story. So being the guy that I was at the time, I was a younger guy and wasn't much for taking no for an answer, especially when it had something to do with drugs. So I was sort of screaming at Johnny nicely about getting in the damn till and giving me the $190, right? Now, admittedly, that was a lot of money back in the day, but he said, no, it's not going to happen. While we were having this discussion, a person walked up holding a head of lettuce in their hand. And he said, I was wondering if there's any chance that I could just buy half of this. Now, I want you to keep in mind, this is the 80s, right? So a head of lettuce was probably, I don't know, $1, right? 80 cents, something like that. It was a ridiculously small amount of money. And this individual wanted to buy a half a head of lettuce. So Johnny said, you know what? I'd have to talk to my supervisor. Honestly, I don't even know if that's something you can do. So he grabbed the head of lettuce and he started walking toward the supervisors. We go and ask this guy a question and see if whether or not this is something that could fly. And I was on his tail, right? I was instantly behind him. Hey man, give me the $190, right? Listen, when I have this, I got it already lined up, man. I don't even have to leave the parking lot, right? I'm going to buy this. Before I ever leave here, I'm going to have your money back. Just give me the $190. And we're arguing, no, I told you we're not doing this ever again, blah, blah, blah. And we're walking through, those little plastic things that they hang that you could walk through, and then you sort of get into the little produce section. Okay, so we're walking through there. Well, at the same time, the guy that wanted the half a head of lettuce was walking directly behind me. This was unbeknownst to me or my brother. Now, the good thing is Johnny is quicker on his feet than anybody on the planet. At least he used to be. Getting a little long in the tooth. He's not as sharp as he once was. But so as we went walking through this plastic, Johnny said to his manager, hey, and I'm going to edit this viciously, people, because there's just no way to do this any kind of justice on the lifeboat. We have rules concerning such things. But he said, some individual out here, there were 8 or 9 adjectives attached to this, right? This guy was a freaking, there was just a lot of terms put in there about what kind of a loser this guy was. And it ended with loser, right? So there is some loser out here that wants to buy a half a head of lettuce. And at the time, we're both looking at his supervisor, and the look on his face was really obvious that we were in trouble, right? It was obvious that this cat was standing directly behind us. And if you could have seen the look on Johnny Scoville's face, because he went like this, right? So some loser out here wants to buy a half a head of lettuce, and he looked at the boss and he turned around and he saw the guy really quickly, and he did that kind of look from Kramer, from Seinfeld, and he did this one here. He went, and this fine gentleman here, he'd like to buy the other half. The speed at which he dropped this, and the laughter, even the guy that Johnny had just called every 4-letter word in the book, and a couple you probably have never even heard of, realized just how funny this was. Hey, some loser out here wants to buy a half a head of lettuce, and this fine gentleman would like to buy the other half. his boss got a laugh out of it. Everyone sort of laughed. And it was one of those situations that highlights kind of who Johnny is. I'm going to tell you a couple other stories. And the next couple are kind of foul, but you just got to kind of hang with it because these were pretty funny. There was a period of time where Johnny and I were working in Reno, Nevada, and we were working on a sales floor. If you ever saw the movie Boiler Room, right? This was very reminiscent of that, right? We sold people really big packages, $10,000, $15,000, whatever. And we did it on the telephone without a contract, nothing. 30 minutes on and off, taking on their credit card, boom, big money. And we had a sales floor of about 75 people. So once a week, they would have to send in payroll so that Johnny could pay everybody on the floor because he was running the place. And sometimes the payroll would be $600,000 or $700,000. Right? It was a lot of money would get sent in to take care of these people. So every single Friday or Thursday, depending, we would get this huge, massive amount of money that would get sent in. And there was a girl working at the bank whose name was Heather. And Heather was a very, very attractive girl who, for obvious reasons, thought I was rich, right? Because, hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Someone is asking about getting on buprenorphine. So this girl thought I was rich for obvious reasons, right? Because every Friday, this huge amount of money would hit the account. And normally we would say, can we get a cashier's check? And Johnny and I would take $5 or $10 or whatever that we would, go blow on drugs or do whatever stupid things we were doing with the money. And this is people, I'm sorry, this is raw, but we're going raw. It's funny. It has to happen. So my brother has the ability, as you've probably seen, if you ever watch Chase the Heat, of not making a face when he eats the hottest things in the world, right? I don't care how hot what he eats is. There is absolutely no expression. Well, he has the ability to do this in other situations. So I said to him on the way into the bank, hey, you got to see this girl, Heather. I mean, I think this girl likes me. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen. And I think today may be the day that I ask her out. So Johnny goes, yeah, you know what? I look forward to seeing her. So we walk in and I said, Heather, how much money did they wire into the account today? She said, $460,000, sir. I said, okay. If you could get us a cashier's check for, a counter check, we'd like to take about $5,000 or $6,000 out of that. And she said, all right. So I'm standing there with Johnny at the time. And he's not here, right? Mark, he's still not here? Okay, good. Johnny breaks wind. There's no other nice way to say it, right? So as I'm standing there with this beautiful blonde girl sitting on the other side directly across from me, you hear this about 10 to 15 seconds of just the most loud, unbelievable noise you've ever heard, right?
Butt trumpet.
And butt trumpet, right? There's no other way to put it. So, Mark, I'm sitting like this. This is the look on my face, right? And I'm a juvenile. I'm a loser.
Oh, yeah.
So I start laughing, right? I can't hold this in. Like, I cannot believe he just did this. And I start laughing, right? And this is the look on Johnny's face. He looks over at me as if I was the one that did this.
Schrodinger's fart.
And just stares at me like this and goes, right? So this is the look. Picture your Heather, right? This is the look I get. He goes, I'm sorry about my brother. And she goes, I'll be right back with your money. And she goes walking away. And I said, Johnny, you have got to be kidding me, man. What the hell is the matter with you? And he's like, oh, man, is that funny? I'm like, no, that's not funny. Like, I really thought I had an opportunity to date this girl. So she comes walking back to count the money out with the most just disgusted look on her face, right? This guy that she thought was, maybe worth dating. Got to make a lot of money. But here he is busting wind for laughs, at the counter. And she's counting out the money. Here he is.
He popped in right when you
says that never happened. Yes, trust me, whatever he tells you now is a lie. So the girl begins to count the money out. Right? She's putting it on the counter, right? 100, 200, 300, 400. She gets up to 1,000, 11, 12, 13. about another 20 seconds, right, of this flutter blast of just unbelievable decibels, right? This noise that you cannot believe. And once again, right, I just lose it. I can't stop laughing. This to me is, I go, oh, right. And I'm trying to keep a straight face. And of course, this is Johnny Scoville.
Stone cold. I love it.
Stone cold, Mark. And he looks at her and he looks back at me and he looks at her again and he goes, I really want to apologize for my brother. And then he looks at me and he shakes his head and he goes, you're such a juvenile. Why don't you wait in the car? Truthfully.
Yeah.
So I'm at this point, I'm dejected, right? And honestly, I don't want to be there anymore. There's not much chance this girl, Heather, and I are ever going to go on a date. So I go out and I wait in the car. And when he got in the car, I said some things to him that were probably not very kind. I couldn't repeat them here on the lifeboat. But the general gist was, man, I cannot believe you just did that to me, dude. What is the matter with you? Like, how could you do that? And I said, man, you know what? I go, that girl's beautiful. I really wanted to ask that girl out. And he said to me, I don't think she's going to date you. And if you could have seen the look on Johnny's face as he said, I don't think this girl's going to date you. He thought it was, without a shadow of a doubt, the funniest thing that ever happened. So one of those things but I look back on it now. Hold on. He said, it's a funny story, but really, do you think I would do that? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Uh-huh. You guys know Johnny Scoville, then you probably know the answer to that. And if you ever watched Chase the Heat, and you watched it for any length of time, you probably heard this story told on Chase the Heat, but I will tell it better. We went to time has a way of dulling some of the stories. Years go by and you forget things. So my memory is much better than Johnny's. We went to a party in the state of Vermont, and the idea is there was going to be a barbecue, right? And it was raining. And it made the whole barbecue thing a little bit difficult. And there were a couple of kegs of beer and everybody was getting sort of looped. And it was at a trailer, a single wide trailer. Well, these people brought the barbecue grill just inside the front door of the trailer. The reason being they couldn't get it lit. Now, you can probably see where this is going, right? This is a bad idea. This is a really, really bad idea. And they've got the gas going. There's a guy named Rock Frost there, really, really funny guy. But they've got the gas going, and they're trying to get this barbecue lit. And I'm standing with Johnny, who gets a hold of my arm, right, and goes, "Come here." I said, "What?" He goes, "Just come here." And he pulls me outside onto the front porch, and I go, "What are we doing?" He goes, "Man, this isn't going to go well." And one of Johnny's friends said, "Give me the matches, man." He's like, "I got this." And he said, "I've lit 1,000,000 of these. I swear to you, this is how this went down." He said, "I've lit 1,000,000 of these." He lit the match like the cartoons. He went down and it went, whoom! It blew the windows. I'm not kidding you. It blew the windows out of this trailer, right? The noise was deafening. And people got their hair burned, right? But the guy that lit this match cooked his eyebrows, right? Like there's no hair left at all. And it's like the cartoons because he squeezed his eyes shut when this thing went off. So everything is kind of blackened except for this white ring right here where the guy had and he was holding the burnt match in his hand like this. And he looked up without missing a beat to everybody at the party and said, "I'll never light another." Keeping in mind, the last thing he said right before lighting this match was, "I've lit 1,000,000 of these, but I'll never light another." I look back on these times, right? There were times I call my brother, and we have
Cliff is his name.
What's that?
He said his name was Cliff.
His name was Cliff, and now he's going to go and tell you before I even get to the next story, he'll probably tell you. Cliff had a horticulture operation growing at his house, and this was in the days where people didn't do this, right? This was really a long time ago, like the whole hydroponic and all of
the lights in a closet in the basement.
Yes, yeah, way ahead of his time. and I was it was Cliff, yeah. So I'm at my brother's house, and we were hanging out and doing drugs and stupid things that we shouldn't have been doing. And I went outside, and I think I might have been smoking a cigarette. I don't remember what I was doing, but I said, Johnny, come out here. And he came outside, and I go, is that smoke coming out of Cliff's house? Now the distance where Cliff lived to us, right? So the top floor of Cliff's house, which was his horticulture operation, right? His grow room was on fire.
Oh no.
And smoke, big, thick, gray, gnarly smoke was rolling out of this house. It was we were in the wrong direction, right? We were sort of upwind. But I guarantee you, had we been downwind, it would have smelled like a Cheech and Chong party. And there was a third person there, a guy named Rock Frost, and Kurt went, "Oh my God, that's Cliff's grow room, isn't it?" And Rock said, "No, that's definitely Cliff's grow room." And I don't remember whether it was myself or whether it was Johnny, but I said, "Hey man, do you think we should give him a call?" Right? And it was one of those moments of realization that might have been the stupidest idea that anyone had ever come up with. And our neighbor at the time, Rock, said, he goes, "Are you kidding me?" As smoke just sort of billowed out of the house. Now, the reason I tell you these stories are, I don't have to tell these stories. This has been going on now for so long with my brother and I that all I got to do is call him on the phone and I'll go, "Do you remember the Cliff grow room situation?" And the two of us will start to laugh. There are jokes now that have been going on with us for so long that one or two words is all that we got to say. And that gut-wrenching laughter can pull you out of almost anything. It will change what's going on in your personality. It'll change how you feel about what is going on. There's an old joke, a very old joke, about people in prison. People, if you do enough time in prison, every single joke you will ever hear has already been told, right? I mean, all of these people are locked in a very small unit, and you get out during the day for hours or whatever, but you're locked in this little concrete box. And the joke goes, this new guy comes in and he gets into his cell and he's hanging out, and his cellmate yells, "47!" Everybody just starts to laugh. And you hear a guy down the hall yell, "13!" And everybody starts to laugh. And the new guy goes, what's up with the numbers, man? We're just screaming numbers. And the guy goes, "Well, a lot of us have been here forever. We're doing life." He said, "So you really aren't going to come up with a joke that people haven't heard before. So we just gave them all a number. So every once in a while, someone will just, scream out a number of a joke, and, everybody gets a good laugh out of it." And the guy goes, and there's just hundreds of them? He goes, "Yeah, it's about 100, 150. So the new guy goes, "Well, is it cool if I give it a shot?" He goes, yeah, knock yourself out." So the new guy yells, "27!" Nothing, not a sound. And he goes, what's wrong? Is that not a good one?" And the guy said to him, "Well, now, some people know how to tell a joke and some people don't." The bottom line, people, is that if you can take the time to remember the things in your life that brought you merriment, it'll go a long way to getting you through times where you feel like life is kicking your tail. One of the best things about being the brother of Johnny Scoville is that he has one of the great senses of humor of anybody I've ever met. And if I'm having a really bad day, I can call him on the phone, and in 10 minutes, he will turn my day around. And the same thing kind of happens with Mark and I. Before we go live, there's always something, and it's no offense to anybody on the boat, but there's always something that's happening that tends to be funny, right? There's always something that has happened on the boat that will get you a laugh. Right now, there's somebody that doesn't like me very much, and they're taking the time to send me emails and telling me what an idiot I am. And right before we went live today, I mentioned to Mark that, this guy had said something and then denied completely saying it. I said, on the bright side, he never deleted it. So I was able to take a picture of it. But even before we went live, there was just that laugh and that feeling if you go and look up the science behind this, there's an old adage that laughter is the best medicine. And people, I'm here to tell you that laughter is the best medicine. There's absolutely science behind this. We've talked about this before on the boat. If you go like this, right, and you walk around with that stupid, eating grin on your face for about 5 or 10 minutes, you will literally begin to feel different. And there's a reason for that, right? It goes right back to the vagus nerve and all of the things that we've talked about so many times before on the boat. But we are hardwired in such a way that if you can begin to get a good laugh, what it can do for you and where you're at is absolutely amazing. I tell stories that I'm almost always the punchline of. I was telling Johnny this morning. So I told everybody the other day, I fell down bringing out the recycling. We had gotten about 6 or 8 inches of snow. And I was talking with Johnny on the phone today, and he said to me, we played football. And for anybody that played football in high school, every single play, somebody ran into you at top speed. You got knocked to the ground, you got run over, people stepped on you, right? And you hopped up and you ran back to the huddle. It's amazing how time sort of changes that, because I didn't tell you guys the whole story, but as I was going out to bring out the recycling, there's about 6 or 8 inches of snow on the ground, and it's on top of ice, right? Because it's been, we've gotten a lot of freezing rain here in northern Nevada over a period of time. So as I'm walking out with this stuff, what the recycling bins look like, they got 2 wheels on them. They're green, right? They got a little thing you push. So I'm pushing this thing out, and my feet went out from underneath me, and they sort of went straight up in the air. And I landed, I would say, 60% on my coccyx bone. If you guys know where that is, right? That's at the tailbone, right? Where it actually extends out just briefly from the spine. Well, that's what hit the ground first. And then my back and my shoulders took the remainder of the fall, and the recycling bin landed on top of me. And all of the cool stuff inside of it then fell out on top of me as well. I would imagine, had you been looking at a distance, this was probably pretty funny. If you're the person laying under the trash that just fell on top of you, not so much. But I was telling my brother that in years past, I would have hopped to my feet as fast as possible to make sure that nobody saw that. You know what I mean? As you get older, it's kind of a different situation. So I laid there for probably 30 or 40 seconds, sort of taking inventory of all of the things in my body that hurt. You know what I mean? I'm laying there going, oh my God, my shoulder, right? Oh, my butt where the coccyx bone hit. And I just sort of laid there in the snow for about 30 or 40 seconds. And as I was telling Johnny this on the phone today, because he is a loving and caring older brother, he of course laughed hysterically. But this is something he knows something about, because he didn't go to work today for a very similar reason. We're getting to be that age where things don't work the way that they used to. And you just sort of, the older you get, the more that things tend to break down on you. Hold on one second. I think I just saw a comment.
Guys, we're going to laugh tonight. We're not going to be focusing on any of the negative, so we're going to just keep moving with it. We let the wrenches do what the wrenches need to do, and we'll handle it. Okay, guys?
No, I love it. Did we give somebody the boot? Because I'll tell you something, I'm in the mood.
Well, it's it's exactly where you know where it's coming from. So
get right out of here.
Yeah.
Really? You mean more people?
Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, no. You know what? Here's the thing. Let's take a shot at it. You know what? Seriously, since we're all having a little fun anyway. You know something, people? The internet in general it's actually hysterically funny. It really is, because it's one of those situations where you want to talk about people who just get instantly tough, right? Because they can hide behind the computer screen. These are people that you're never going to run across, you're never going to meet, and I promise you that these people in public, it's one of the funniest things ever. I remember someone really taking a shot at my brother And it was when I was first sort of exposed to the internet in general. And this guy was really just having a field day. And this is my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is, we grew up in such a way that, there's an old expression, right? You can whoop my butt and you could probably whoop my brother's butt, but I'm betting you couldn't take the two of us, right? And I was always there to stand with my brother, and he was always there to stand with me. And I got really, really upset. And I was getting ready to just lose it on this guy. And my brother said, the guy said, if we were in person, and Johnny said, if we were in person, you'd probably ask to take a selfie with me. And I laughed so hard, man, I couldn't even begin to tell you, because that's the reality, right? These people are all so tough. They have to go and make a fake account so that they can come and be tough. If you're on the lifeboat, right, you're part of a family here.
Yep.
Just know that family is real. It is. Every single day it is proven again and again and again just how real it is. If you have not seen Miss Dragon, and she did a tribute. I don't know if there's a better way to put it. If I'm saying it wrong, she did sort of an invite to tell people about the lifeboat, and I got an opportunity to see it, and it was one of those things that just floored me, because people say a lot of really nice things about the boat, but to film yourself saying it, right? It had just a different effect on me. It really did.
Yeah.
And I would love to say, you know what? I love you and I thank you. I really do. Today, somebody reached out to me, and I'm not going to use their name. It doesn't much matter. But this person, you remember I did a show that was called, this is what happens when you get old, Mark.
I'm not.
The old gray matter. It ain't what it used to be. It was called, you know what I'm going
Oh,
for,
yeah.
right? It's just, yeah. I think it was called Gas Station Heroin, right? And we were talking about Tianapin. It's sold under the name Zaza, right? Well, the individual who first turned me on to this whole concept was someone struggling with it. And I suggested to this person, hey, why don't you try getting on to buprenorphine? Because the stuff you're taking is acting on the MU receptor, blah, 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 right? So by getting something that's going to block the MU receptors, you're not just not going to be able to get high on this stuff, but more importantly, your brain is going to feel like you've already been dosed, and you're not going to go through the struggle that you're currently going through. I didn't hear from this person for a really long time. And the person reached out to me today, and we were able to talk, and they're going to, in fact, while earlier on tonight, I went, hey, I just got a text. Well, it was the person saying to me, hey, I made an appointment, and I'm going to get this done. The level of family that we have here, I will put against anything, anywhere. I will. There is nothing quite like the lifeboat. Rip Curl Readiness, it's good to see you, my brother. I'm glad that you're here. Great example. Rip is just one of those people that I wish Rip lived in my town. You know what I mean? And then there's a lot of you like that. But Rip is just one of those people. Everyone is welcome here as long as they are respectful and they follow the channel rules. We will protect this chat for all good people here. Love you. 11, Pagan 11. Pagan, you don't even need to hear me say how I feel about you. And you know something, folks? We're going to come across jackwagons, right? Tons of them. And here's the thing. The nice thing is, the beauty is, and we get this, every once in a while, someone will say, you guys don't believe in free speech. Let me explain to you a little bit about free speech, how free speech works, right? If you want to get up in the town square and you want to say Trump is an idiot, you have the right to say that. If you want to get up in that same town square and say that Joe Biden is a fool, you have the right to say that. If you want to talk anything about politics, you have the right to say that. You're protected free speech. Now, if I want to go into Mark Wage's living room and I want to say, hey, let me tell you about politics, Mark can go, get the hell out of my house. Right? Yeah. Because free speech takes place in the county square. It doesn't take place in Mark's living room. So, to the jackwagons who recently just got blocked for life and we will never have to be seen again, you're in our living room. Right? Well, technically you're you're on our deck. But you understand what I'm saying? This boat belongs to myself and Mark Wages and every single person on it, right? The people who call themselves the crew of the lifeboat. This is your boat. And trust me when I tell you that should we just throw one out anyway? No asshat
Go for it.
is going to come on here and say anything about anybody from the crew of the lifeboat. It's just not going to happen, right?
Yep.
But I want to tell you something else, people. When you're over the target, right, you catch flack. The more over the target you are, the more that you're doing well, right, the more flack you're going to get. My father's favorite advice, and it's stuck with me, and it's one of those things that really means a lot to me. Do good and fear not. It was an expression that the Papa Scoville said all the time. Man, if you do good, you got nothing to worry about, man. Do good and fear not. We got a group of people on this boat who are doing just that, right? We're going to slip. There are going to be days we stumble. There are going to be days that we fall. The beautiful thing about this is we get up, we tell people the truth, and we move on. Speaking of, I got a big shout out. A really, really big shout out to Brandon, right? Now, I know we got a couple of them, and you know what? I could be shouting out either of them right now. But Brandon Galloway is approaching the 30-day mark.
Big.
That's big, right? It's big. And you know what, people? If you've been here for any length of time, this is a cat that has had his ups and downs. He really has. The most impressive thing to me is his honesty. He's never lied to anybody on this boat. He's never said, yep, doing great. If he stumbles, he tells people about it instantly. In fact, I think the first time we ever had this conversation was him, right?
Yeah.
He came on here and said, hey, man, I used last night. And I was so blown away.
Yeah, we were.
The first time I heard that
It
from
was
anybody.
crazy to hear that, wasn't it? Oh, my God.
It was. Yeah. It really and honestly was, because it was just beautiful.
Just honesty.
And it was raw and it was beautiful. And I'll tell you something. He's about to hit 30 days, and I'm so damn proud of him, man. I really am. Brandon, you're a beast, brother. We're proud of you. We really are. Chi-Chi. This boat has no place for judgment, cruelty, insensitivity, hate, trolling.
Yep.
This is a place of support, no judgment, love, understanding, empathy, compassion. Learn what that is and be a better you. Holy hell, could you have said that any better? You know, I used to say a lot that this boat needs a lot more Chi-Chi.
You're right. Yeah, you did, didn't you? That's awesome.
I did.
Yeah.
I used to say that I wanted our default setting to be Chi-Chi. She's one of the nicest, honestly, one of the nicest, most beautiful people that I've ever met. We had one, if you've been around long enough, you realize we don't delete anything, people. We do crap shows.
We do.
We do. Mm-hmm. We do shows that don't come out well. We don't delete anything. The only thing we ever deleted was because a hiccup made it sound like I said something about Chi-Chi that just hurt me. And I said, I'm not having it deleted.
Right. Yep.
Chi-Chi, I love you. And I'm so glad that you're back. I really am. You know, we sometimes people need to take a little time off. And, you know, it's part of the lifeboat. It's just the nature of what it is we do, right? We have a big walk ahead of us, right? We've said so many times that when you get sober, this is base camp. It really is. It's base camp. You know, if it were just you get sober and the struggle is over, we could go like this. All right, everybody, it's been fun, right? I could hang up the hat, and that would be the end of it. But that's not how it works. Let's see here. I am Heather Joy said, I may be going to the hospital for a few weeks. So if you guys don't see me, no worries. I am still clean and sober. Well, it's going to be a little difficult to not have any worries. I would like everybody to pray for Heather Joy. If you're going to the hospital, we certainly would like to keep you in our prayers.
Please stop in. Please come.
Please. You know, it's a phone. So just let us know. Let us know how you're doing and that you're okay, because it means a lot to us. It really does. If we had some prayers, that would be great. Emma Hunt, good to see you, bud.
Love the sticker.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sticker. Love them.
Chi-Chi said, I believe in this boat so much. I am like my soul sister. We disappear sometimes, or so it seems.
We are there. Just got to take time to heal ourselves so that we can be stronger and help others too. When she said her soul sister, believe it or not, if you're new to the boat, you may not know this. Lady Fiona Crispin and Chi Chi are born on the same day.
Yeah.
Same year. Right? I think they're both 29 this year. Again, they're 29 again this year. And they are born, they are the exact same age. Although since one was born in another country, little time, different, but they were born on the same day, same year. They're sort of sisters of sorts, and it's from time to time, both of them, and it's like anything else. We took time off, right? Not something I intend to do again, and I don't think Mark is probably intending to do that again either. It didn't work out very well.
Not for that.
By the way, people,
it
just didn't work.
Yeah.
By the way, people, you see this?
That's awesome. Yeah.
It is absolutely awesome, right? And then on the back it says, right? So just in case you forget, one of these was mailed to me, and the other was mailed to me today with a note that said, please get this to the other captain. I don't have his address. So this means so much to us. When you guys do little things like this, it means so much. It really does. It's such a beautiful thing. And it is, you are appreciated, people.
Yes.
Honestly, you are so appreciated.
Yeah. You guys don't understand. Sometimes those things come at the perfect moment, and
they really blow wind in your sail when you need it.
And for me, believe me, that's today for me. I had a couple rough days, if I'm being honest, but nothing that was causing me to want to go use or anything like that. But it was pretty rough for me, and it's just been one of those things. So sometimes you just need to hear it, or see it. Just that little bit of time, that little bit of gesture that somebody puts forth, a little bit of effort. That's more so I don't know. To me, the time is more of I don't want to use the word commitment. It's just more of it hits you harder because you know that they actually had to think about it and all those kinds of things. So So thank you. I needed to.
How about this? Tommy Bird, you're the age of my boyfriend's RX-7.
Oh no. No, he didn't.
It's absolutely great. That is so funny. I love that. I really do. I absolutely love that. I'm now 20, 1994. My boyfriend is February 4th, 1991. This is the part where I say, I think I've got tattoos or track marks that old, right? Good Lord. I didn't think we had anybody that young here. That makes me feel good. For wages, we understand. Major, there is going to be a place where you can go, and it will be ready tomorrow. There will be a place that all of you can go. It will be ready tomorrow. We have been in the process of getting it all put together, and tomorrow you will be able to go there and just say, hey, man, I need help. And there will be people there ready to help at all times. It is not going to be a place for chatter. It's going to be a place where people can go and say, hey, man, I need some help. And we're getting it put together. You see that? This is Johnny getting a kick. When I put these on, and I got rid of my Homer glasses because I used to actually look like Homer Simpson when I put on the Homer Simpson glasses. I got rid of them. I got these, and I still have to put up with it. Thank you, Johnny. You're such a nice person. I mean, you're not, but I never wrote a goodbye letter, Chi-Chi. I was not ready to quit back then. Well, it's time that you write a goodbye letter, brother.
That's right.
And we will be more than happy if you're comfortable with it to read it on the air, right? Or you can read it on the air either way. I think that one more homer and you're getting bounced. You guys with the wrenches. That's Johnny Scoville character. He may have to go.
Put him in timeout. Put him in the corner first.
We got a dazzle bug and a doodle bug. Hey, Buddha, glad that you're here, man. I was a little worried about you. I'm glad that you're here. Glad you're doing well.
We might.
This is for the jokes earlier. Those weren't jokes. Those were stories, brother. Jokes.
Funny stories.
Those are true stories, man. Yeah.
That's what makes them so
You're
funny.
That's right. You're the one that did it. It's not me. It's him, right? It's not me. It's him. People, this boat is evolving. It really is. There was a time where I used to get up in the morning and I would do a quick, hey, let's get ready and let's focus on the day. And I stopped doing it a long time ago. And the reason I stopped doing it is because about 6 people would see it. And you know what? It takes effort, and you gotta, you make a thumbnail and you do all those things. And honestly, it's worth it if only 6 people see it. It really is. But I got to a point where with everything else we were doing, it didn't seem like there were enough people seeing it for me to continue. These days, considerably more people see it. Be on the lookout, because I'm going to continue to do it. I think it's a good idea. Get up in the morning and make your bed, and dump what's on your mind. Okay? Dump it. Get it out of there. And I'll tell you something else. I'm going to tell you a story about a very close friend of mine. As you guys probably know, one of my closest friends on this planet is Alan Ballantyne. Love Alan. I really do. He's just, I can't say enough cool things about Alan. But Alan, if something is bothering him, he tells me. He'll call me. We talk about it. And he was going through some stuff. He has, the job he does is labor intensive. And even when he gets a fortnight off, they say a fortnight over there. Not even sure I understand what a fortnight is. I think it's 14 days, isn't it? A couple of weeks?
I think so.
Anyway, he gets a fortnight off, and he still doesn't get the time off because he's always on call. And it's a labor-intensive job. And I don't know. It's probably because he's like a brother to me, but sometimes I feel like they take advantage of him. And I think sometimes he feels that way too. But he said he started getting up in the day, right? And he goes for a walk, 25 minutes every single morning. And he said it has absolutely changed his life. Couple of miles, right? Just get out there and walk 20 minutes in the morning. He said it changed his life. His attitude, the way he looks at everything has changed by just a 20-minute walk every single morning. The things that we talk about on these boats, on this boat, on these shows, you know what? Nothing works for everybody. But if you don't try any of them, I can guarantee you they're not going to work for you, period. So if you're not journaling, guess what? It's not going to work for you. I promise. If you're not getting out and walking for 20 minutes a day, right? Getting a little air in your lungs, looking around, getting a little exercise, I promise you it's not going to do anything for you. If you don't make your bed in the morning, start the day off with this is how I'm going to start my day, I assure you it's not going to have any effect on your life. We talk about these things. It's fun to hang out, people. It is. It's fun to hang out. I love every one of you. I would do this even if you guys don't listen to a word we say. But if you take the time to try some of these things, are they all going to work? Probably not. Not for all of you. They're not. But give them a try. Spend 14 days trying these things. Then come back and tell me I'm an idiot. I'll take it. I will. And then I'll blame it on Mark.
Hey.
Tell you it was his idea.
And then I'll just blame it on, I don't know, somebody.
Yeah,
the dog.
Always good.
Blame it on the dog.
Right? Oh, man. You can always blame it on the dog. I'm going to finish this up with a story because this one made my day. True story, too. So when my business partner and I went our separate ways, Amy, we had a very loving split. There's no there's no animosity at all. We just he's a younger guy, and there's some things that he'd like to try in life, and so he's kind of going his own way, and I'm doing what I'm doing. I can tell you tonight if you want. You keep your mouth shut, Johnny. Anyway, so he took the laptop, and as I've told you before, the laptop was like this big, right? It was perfect for blind people. I could look down and I could see whatever the comments were, and I wouldn't have to put on my Homer Simpson glasses. So today I thought I'm going to bite the bullet. I need to get a laptop for the lifeboat. It's just one of those things that's going to make life a whole lot easier. So I did what anyone else would do, who's not very bright. I went to Walmart, and I went in and I said I want a laptop that I can touch with my finger because I'm not very bright, right? I've gotten good with the phone, so I want a screen that I can tap. That way I don't have to, because even if you give me a laptop that you can't tap, I go like this. And I touch the screen and nothing happens. I get salty. So I said, can you walk me through this process? Now this, not very bright person, said, sure, let me take you through this, and showed me 9 computers, told me all of the important stuff on every one of them, narrowed it down to 2 of them. And I said, you know what? This is the one. This is the one I want. The size is right. I can tap it. I won't need my Homer Simpson glasses. This is everything that I want. Can you go get me one of these? And she said, no.
Out of stock.
I said, sorry. Yeah. No, I said, okay, logical, right? Logical. So I said, you're out of stock. She said, oh no, we have a ton of them. Okay. Why then can't I buy one of these? And she said, they didn't give me the key today.
So she wasted your
I
time.
said, so,
Wow.
and everyone else
That's
is.
crazy.
I said, so you're working in the electronics department, and you can't sell anything in electronics today. She went, correct. Okay. So I went to another store, and I said, this is the one I want. And the guy said, you want to make sure you got the 5.7 giggle thing, because the 3 point something, foo-foo valve will do nothing, right? You need the larger of the 2. I said, okay, then get me the larger of the 2. He disappears, comes back and says, got it. I said, excellent. He brings it up to the counter and goes, oh no, this is the one with the 3 point thing. I said, okay, look, I could probably get by on that one. He said, no, you can't. I'm telling you, this is going to be really slow and it's going to frustrate you. And I said, and you don't have the other one. He said, no. I got on the phone to call Walmart because I felt like yelling at them. I thought, might make me feel better. People, I'm telling you the gospel truth. I called Walmart for an hour and 15 minutes. And it gives you all of these options, one of which is hit 0 and you can talk to an associate. In all of that time, I never talked to an associate. I would hit 0 and it would ring for 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes, 7 minutes, and then disconnect. And it meant someone was picking up the phone and hanging it up because the number, right, the duration of time was never the same. So someone at Walmart was just going, yeah, I'm not talking to this guy. Yeah, I'm not talking to this guy. Yeah, I'm not talking to this guy. So I have made up my mind that if tomorrow Walmart comes out with a product that will guarantee you live 250 years and all you have to do is eat 1 pill a day, I'm going to go somewhere else to get it. If they're the only people in the world that make it, I'm going to die early because I am never, ever going to buy anything at Walmart again. I'm using my platform here, Mark, to poop all over Walmart. Now, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy seeing the people who shop at Walmart because there's some good stuff. Let's be really honest, people. There is some really funny stuff that you can see at Walmart. However, my days of Walmart are done. That's it. Done. Never again. I'm not going back there. That's all I have to say about that. So, the takeaway for today's show is this. Laughter really does go a long way, people. You can look back on the things from your past, right? Try to concentrate on the things that are funny. If you're having a bad time, call up a friend, reminisce, right? That's the big takeaway. That, and my brother has no problem breaking wind in front of a woman. I think those. I'm sorry. That was a really long time ago. Not that he probably still doesn't do that, but it really was in his defense. It was a very, very long time ago. It had to be about 2 weeks. No, it was about 15, 20 years ago. So he may have grown up by then. But then again, he's got a beard down to here, right? And then he eats really hot things. And yeah, there's no telling. I don't think he's done a whole lot of growing up. Let's keep it real. But laughter is the best medicine. It always will be the best medicine. And the other takeaway is this. Mess with somebody on this lifeboat and you're gone. You're gone. Right? We're never going to allow that because we love everybody here. And you know what? Don't let them get to you. For real. If they had cojones of any kind, they wouldn't be doing the things they're doing. They're jokes, right? They're not even funny jokes. You know it. Well, yeah, unless I call them a shit wagoner. I mean, or something like that. Yeah, no, you mean, yeah. I mean, we're certainly not going to visit the subject matter because as far as I'm concerned, they are Schrodinger's trolls. Angel Wings gifted one lifeboat membership And let me tell you something about angel wings before we get off of the lifeboat. As we've said, we can go into the back and we can hit a button and we can see who shares what when. And I want to tell you something. Angel Wings does amazing amounts of sharing and pushing out the lifeboat. I mean, up there with anybody that has ever done it. She is absolutely a soldier for the lifeboat. Ilea, no question. Ilea, no question. But it is it warms our heart that you people fight for the boat. It warms our heart that you fight for the boat. It really does. So let's see here. I'm gonna give him the quick Mark wages because I don't ever get to do this, but Mark does all the time. So let's see here. Leisure, love you, brother. M. Hunt, an island girl or a Highlander girl. Hi, Island girl. Highland. I never say that right. Chi-Chi, Charlie Mullins, T. Prada, Stacy Michaels, Scooby, the Budding Queen, Johnny. Awakened by the Looking Glass Reflection, Angel Wings, thank you so much, and thank you for the gift. Virginia, always good to see you. Miss V earlier said she's really old, and that kind of bummed me out because we're the same age. Cultivate Kindness. Ilea, thank you for all you do. Blue Dazzle Bug. Stacy again, Stacy Michaels. And where is Rip Curl Readiness? Love you, Rip. Let's see, did I miss anybody? Cindy, good to see you. That would be Cindy Pardee. And Buddha, or as his grandmother likes to call him, Doodlebug. I'm sorry, that's never not going to be funny to me. Doodlebug, I love you, brother. You hang in there, all right? Every one of you. And to those of you fighting the good fight, and you're new, right? You're fighting it because it's early. We're so proud of you, man. M. Hunt, you're a beast. You really are. Brandon, closing in on 30 days. The other Brandon, 7 days. You all are making us so proud. You really are. You know, this is what it's all about. Now, tomorrow morning, same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. I will be giving you a wake-up call. Stop by and say hello. Believe it or not, the big red button doesn't even, they allow us to monetize those. Who would have thought? Mark, I actually saw a green mark. Did you know that they come in green?
Yeah, that very they're usually yellow.
Thought they were always red and yellow.
Always yellow, man, for us usually.
Yeah, didn't even know they came in
straight
green.
from the
It's
get.
actually pretty pretty wild to see one in green. I didn't even know what to do. It took my breath away. All right, people, we will be back tomorrow night. Same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. I'll be back tomorrow morning as well. Same squirrel time. Well, different squirrel time, but the same squirrel channel. People, let's get some laughs. Huh? For real. Don't let anybody step on your eyes, right? Don't let anybody bother you.
That's right.
For real. We're better than that. We're family. And that will never change. Hold on. Matt C.
Watching the replay.
That replays are good things.
Right.
And they're calling for the squirrels. The squirrels are out. I love it when that happens. We all know that you're only here for the cat. You know, eventually Mark's going to have to get a very big basket for his dog. And I'm going to have to get a larger basket because Squirrel is getting fatter by the second. She really is. Chewy Weather.
Yep.
Chewy Weather?
Yeah, he's been here since about the beginning of the show tonight. Yeah.
Chewy, glad you're here, man. Good to see you. All right, peeps. We will be back tomorrow night. All right? Tomorrow night is it's our Tuesday. All right? So we will see you then. Thank you for all you do, man. We love you people. You're doing so much to help us stay sober. It means the world to us. I am Captain Tommy Scoville. And on the other side of the glass,
And Mark Wages.
and the star of the show, that's a cat in a basket. Good night, everybody. We love you.